Ewan,
Yes?
are you going to play Obi-Wan Kenobi again?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and say it. The biggest news to come out of Disney's investor event was the announcement of Hayden Christensen returning as Darth Vader.
I don't like sand.
But wait, how will this work? Does this mean he's just playing Vader behind the mask? Are there going to be flashbacks, force visions? Why not just get some tall guy to do it? Will James Earl Jones be voicing Darth Vader? When does Obi-Wan Kenobi become Ben Kenobi? Lots of questions. So today, I want to go over everything we know about the new Obi-Wan series. And I'll probably also do a bit of theorizing as well. I really love that side of Star Wars, just making up Star Wars theories. Here's one now. Obi-Wan's Force Ghost returns as Snoke. Honestly, just recently I've begun to realize just how much theorizing I do with friends, with Mandalorian and Season 3 on the way, all these new Star Wars shows and films just announced. There's so much character backstory, plot development details, so much lore, so much stuff to talk about. So today I thought I'd have a chat with you guys about Obi-Wan. Let's do this. Hey everyone, it's Andrew. Okay, so let's start with some of the basics. Currently, the series is supposed to air in 2022. That's when it's releasing. By that time, The Mandalorian will be in its fourth season, if it gets a fourth, which it seems likely it will. And The Bad Batch, the new animated TV series, the sequel to the Clone Wars, that'll be out by that time, as well as the Andor series, the Cassian Andor series that releases in 2021. Now, the Obi-Wan series was originally planned as a feature-length film. It's going to be part of the Star Wars anthology films. We had Rogue One and then Solo, and then there was going to be the Obi-Wan film. But following the disappointment of Solo: A Star Wars Story, the idea shifted into doing it as a series instead. And I think that's also based on The Mandalorian's success. A lot of people say that Star Wars, the format, is suited so much more to these episodic kind of series, and it's a good thing. Let's say instead of getting a 2-hour length movie, we're getting 6 1-hour episodes. Originally, it was going to be 8 episodes. Unfortunately, it's only going to be 6. Still great. That's 6 hours of Obi-Wan show. The original story that was going to be in the film was going to be set 5 years after Revenge of the Sith, with Obi-Wan trying to protect Luke as he grew up on Tatooine. It was being directed and co-written by Stephen Daldry, who directed Billy Elliot, The Hours, as well as producing and directing several episodes of The Crown. The idea for the series seems to have changed a lot since then though, and the script, the story has changed. Now back at the D23 Expo in August 2019.
I am thrilled to bring out a beloved member of the Star Wars family.
Ewan McGregor was finally able to reveal his involvement in the project and the fact that it was happening. Kathleen Kennedy also said at this event that Disney are very close to making it. It was supposed to start shooting this year, but that was pushed back because, 2020. So filming now starts in March 2021, and all the scripts are already written, so it seems like it's ready to go. Now, I think it's important we look at who's actually making this series, because it's not George Lucas, it's not Dave Filoni, it's not Jon Favreau, or anyone you might associate with Star Wars nowadays. The series is being directed by Deborah Chow, who's directed 2 episodes of The Mandalorian so far. She did Chapter 3, The Sin, the one where Mando rescues Baby Yoda from the lab, and then all the Mandalorians come to rescue him at the end. And also Chapter 7, The Reckoning, where Moff Gideon shows up. The series was originally written by Hussein Amini. Some of his notable screenplays include the film Drive, 47 Ronin, The Snowman, a bunch others. He wrote the initial scripts anyway, but then stepped down from being the writer in January 2020, and the series is now being written by Joby Harold, who's contributed to writing John Wick 2 and 3, and the new Transformers film coming out in the next few years. Now, to film the series, similar to what they do with The Mandalorian, Lucasfilm are using Industrial Light and Magic's stagecraft technology. This stuff is pretty impressive. It's all filmed indoors in a studio, and this is basically a giant LED screen, and using Unreal Engine, engine, yes, that's the same game engine used for games like Jedi Fallen Order and Fortnite, they're able to create and film different planets, worlds, locations, all in camera without the use of CGI or actual location shooting. So usually when a Star Wars film is shot, it takes many, many months, lots of travel, lots of it's filmed on location all around the world, and then some stuff is like green screen, blue screen indoors. But shooting on location isn't really a possibility at the moment, so this stage setup in a studio is perfect for filming in a controlled environment without traveling. You might not know this, I'm pretty sure all of The Mandalorian is actually filmed indoors, which is pretty crazy to think. Now, Kathleen Kennedy is calling Hayden Christensen's return the rematch of the century, but what exactly does this mean? It's honestly hard to see Obi-Wan and Anakin facing off again. I mean, they don't exactly set this up in the films. It seems like the last time they fought was in Revenge of the Sith, and they didn't meet each other again until A New Hope. All of that could change though, I guess.
When I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master.
I wouldn't really call Anakin a loner at this point in the timeline anymore once he's transformed into Darth Vader, even if he is the Emperor's apprentice. Now, it would seem that the series is going to be about Obi-Wan protecting Luke on Tatooine, which is what the end of the Revenge of the Sith sets up. It seemingly places Obi-Wan on Tatooine between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, like he just lives there the whole time. There's 19 years between the events of these films. So with the Obi-Wan series taking place 10 years after Revenge of the Sith, what's he been up to all these years? Has he just become a hermit sitting in his hut waiting for Luke to grow up? Waiting patiently, growing his beard, getting old, getting grey. He had the encounter with Darth Maul, of course. What else has been going on? It's hard to think that he's just been sitting here the whole time. I think we could see Obi-Wan possibly travel to Alderaan at one point, drop in on Bail Organa to see how Leia's doing. There was actually a casting rumor a little while ago that the show put out a call for 2 children, a boy and a girl between the ages of 8 and 11. It'll be interesting to see who gets to play a young Luke and possibly Leia, and what their involvement in the show will be. Is it going to be about them growing up? If it's set 10 years after Revenge of the Sith, will it be a show about Luke growing up on Tatooine from Obi-Wan's perspective? Also, it's likely we'll be seeing more of Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru. They're the ones who are taking care of Luke. Whether or not these two will be played by the same actors as in Revenge of the Sith, we'll have to wait and see. Is it going to be like a father-son relationship between Uncle Owen and Luke? I feel like Obi-Wan kind of fulfills that role. Back in Revenge of the Sith and Attack of the Clones, Joel Edgerton played Owen Lars, and Beru was played by Bonnie Pais, both who are Aussies. G'day, mates. Now, like every Star Wars movie or TV series or game, it's very likely there's going to be several cameos in this show. And there are 2 characters that come to mind, the first ones I think of when I think of an Obi-Wan series. First, Qui-Gon Jinn.
Credits will define.
At the end of Revenge of the Sith, Yoda tells Obi-Wan he's been speaking through the Force with Qui-Gon and will teach Obi-Wan how to commune with him.
Qui-Gon.
And the other is Yoda himself. At this point, you'd think Yoda would probably be chilling on Dagobah, but perhaps Obi-Wan even drops by for a visit to learn how to speak to Qui-Gon through the Force. I think it's much more likely we'll see Obi-Wan traveling around than Yoda traveling anywhere, but it'd be such a throwaway to not have Liam Neeson reprise his role as Qui-Gon as well, especially after Yoda says this in Revenge of the Sith. Pretty sure he's another actor who would be open to doing this, open to being involved in this project. And another character who could possibly make an appearance, Mace Windu. Samuel L. Jackson doesn't believe he's dead.
We know Jedis can fall from incredible heights and survive. So apparently, I am not dead.
And having all these Jedi come back together, reconvene the Jedi Council, it's something we'd all love to see. I mean, The Mandalorian's been huge on the whole fan service thing, showing us partly where Ahsoka's been, what she's been up to. We had, of course, Boba Fett's survival. We got Bo-Katan from the Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels. There's the Thrawn mention. There's so much. So I'm sure we're going to get something similar in the Obi-Wan series, but hopefully with a lot more Jedi. If it's going to be done, this is the place to do it, and we know who's going to be involved. I love how all the actors are the right age as well. They've all aged perfectly for this time period. Alec Guinness was 63 when he played Obi-Wan, and Ewan McGregor is close to turning 50, so there's about 13 years between this and this, which feels like the appropriate age gap. Although that said, Ewan McGregor doesn't look like he's aged a day since he filmed the prequels. If Obi-Wan does eventually just hang out on Tatooine and protect Luke from afar, acting as his adopted uncle. Who else is he going to bump into? Will Jabba the Hutt be around? I'm sure they'll have a few run-ins with Tusken Raiders, Jawas. Perhaps Luke will express interest in pod racing, just like his father. I'm not sure if Tatooine still has a pod racing scene by this point. And I think a very likely enemy Obi-Wan will have to face in the series will be the Inquisitors. It's possible we could be seeing some of what happens in Jedi Fallen Order and also Star Wars Rebels happen in this series. Now, Vader obviously knows Obi-Wan survived Order 66 following their duel on Mustafar, so I think it's likely he'll be sending Inquisitors after Obi-Wan, trying to track down his location, trying to kill him. I mean, unless he's really good at being a hermit and just chilling and not revealing his location. So we could be seeing Obi-Wan just really trying to keep his presence on Tatooine a secret, not travel around too much, not go anywhere. 19 years in the desert though, doesn't seem like that interesting a story. What's going to happen? Hopefully we'll get to see him take out some Inquisitors who try and hunt him down. I'm really curious if there's going to be any mention of Darth Maul in this as well. In Star Wars Rebels, Obi-Wan is a bit older by the time Maul comes for a visit. He's into the Alec Guinness version of Obi-Wan, and I don't think Maul is going to be involved as a character in this. I think Lucasfilm are kind of done with Maul for a while, seeing as though he was so heavily involved in Clone Wars Season 7. But that said, he was in Solo, a Star Wars story. So are we going to see Obi-Wan have any run-ins with Crimson Dawn and whatever Maul's dealings are at this time? Is Kira going to make an appearance in this? Come to think of it, there's lots of possibilities and directions they can take this in. Lots going on in the galaxy at this time. Jedi still being hunted. But what else is interesting is that surely Vader would consider Tatooine and the Lars homestead a potential location for Luke's upbringing. I mean, how does Obi-Wan keep this a secret from Vader? Why doesn't Vader go there and check on Luke to see if he's there? Perhaps he does in this series. Why doesn't Vader sense him through the Force? Like I said earlier, it's not clear in what capacity Hayden Christensen will be playing Darth Vader, whether he'll just be in the suit or we'll get flashbacks, Force visions, Vader struggling to deal with the death of Padme. I think it's likely we'll see several scenes where Vader is unmasked, and perhaps this is where Hayden Christensen will be acting. He'll be struggling with loss, the loss of Obi-Wan, the loss of Padme, the loss of his identity, and his transition to the dark side. I'm also really hoping James Earl Jones will be able to provide the voice for Vader, considering he'll be over 90 years old by the time this releases. I mean, he did the voice for Rogue One, he also voiced Vader in Star Wars Rebels in the few episodes he appeared in that show, but these were just a couple of scenes, and several years ago now. But he is cast in the Coming to America sequel with Eddie Murphy, which is releasing next year, so I'd say if he's able, he'll be in it. But what do you guys think this series will be about? Will Obi-Wan just be chilling on Tatooine, or will he be jumping around the galaxy, fighting Inquisitors, joining in with the Rebel Alliance? I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. And for more on The Mandalorian and Star Wars, watch one of these videos here, and also go follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and join my Discord to be up to date when any news drops about Star Wars, any of these new TV shows get a leak or a detail come out, because I'll be sharing that, I'll be tweeting about it. Come follow me on those. And thanks for watching this. My name's Andrew. I'll catch you soon.
See you soon. On screen, I hope.
Stay bombastic.